cherish it.
Welcome to another very special episode of Fight Night Flashbacks with the main man, Eric Griffin here.
Hey,
today's a big one, my man.
I'm about to say, thank you for having me on these. I've learned a lot. A lot of people are hitting me up about like this my newfound fascination and love for UFC. I still find it very bloody and violent, and sometimes it's hard to watch. But I'm now appreciating like the chess of it. There's
a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. The skill. And then the mental stuff to it, so it's very fascinating sport.
These are fun for me, man. I never really get to break down or talk about fights like this. Usually, I'm balls deep in some, undercard fight on the Schaub show for the hardcore. So this is fun for me because, also you can see how, back in the day, like Dick Cheney was like, oh, this is human cockfighting or whatever. I think it was Dick Cheney or one of the government officials like this human cockfighting. If you're uneducated about fighting, I get it. Like, you see two bloody guys with their shirts off, and they're in a cage. Like, it's a lot. But the more you get informed about and how special these athletes are, the more respect you have for it. So if you don't like blood.
I know, but no mistake about it, though. It is a brutal, violent sport.
Oh, yeah.
But there is something like about two people fighting for their life. I mean, that's just something that's been going on for,
forever.
For 1,000 years.
Forever.
There's something that we're attracted to that. That's what sports is, even sports that are unviolent sports like basketball or whatever. But even football is a violent sport. You know what I mean? Yeah, but anyways, so,
But if you kind of shy away or kind of squint at the idea of blood and people getting punched in the face, that's why I decided to bring this next gentleman up, because this dude, I'm gonna relate this to your comic book obsession. This dude is the Carnage of the UFC. He's Carnage. Oof. So this guy's name is Khamzat Chimaev.
This is the new guy, right? And he's now undefeated.
He is the boogeyman from Sweden via Chechnya. Oof. He is the scariest guy in the UFC currently. And he is just a freaking tidal wave. He's like the next big thing.
Okay.
And so we're leading up to it because the next big UFC pay-per-view is Khamzat, who's like the young Chechnyan lion, versus the old kind of legend in Nate Diaz.
How old though? How much older is one than the other?
Oh, Nate's 37 or 38, and Khamzat.
Wow.
28.
Ooh.
But like in his prime, and just he's such a savage. He scares me. I think he can be a champion at 70, 85, and 205 even. This dude is
he's currently undefeated.
He's undefeated. So we're gonna start here. So because he has an interesting kind of come up in the UFC. So he debuts against John Phillips at middleweight. Remember during the lockdown they were doing Fight Island? Remember the UFC was like, oh, we can't do anything. Let's take this to an island because no one can mess with us there. So he goes there and he fights John Phillips and starches him, like chokes him out. Everyone's like, okay, here we go. He stays on the island because he can get touched. He goes, I'm just going to stay here and look for a fight. The UFC goes, okay. 10 days later, he fights Ray's McKee on Fight Island, literally 10 days later. So then the legend starts to build.
Right.
He's like, who's this Chechnyan savage? And here we'll kick off with this.
Already. Wait, but before we go, I got to ask him some basic questions. What's his specialty? Is he a
being
grappler?
Chechnyan? Just being Chechnyan.
What does that even mean?
Oh, they come out just head on a swivel, hitting on bills.
So is he a brawler? Is he a wrestler? Is he a jiu-jitsu guy? What is he?
So anyone from like Dagestan, that Russian area, Dagestan, Chechnya, they're gonna have their black belt, and I think they call it a combat sport, like World of Combat Sports. So like Sambo's big over there. So literally like guys like Makhachev and Khabib. When you and I were growing up, playing whatever, kickball, tag, they're wrestling. For reals, they're wrestling. And so the UFC knows this. Like there is a in Game of Thrones.
I have a vision of little kids in the yard, and they're just like, all right, I'll take a school of Wolf, and this guy will take, and then they're just like, ah.
And you know what's hilarious? You say yard. You mean on the rocks. Like they live behind mountains.
There was no grass.
No. They live behind mountain, like in the mountain. So Khabib and Makhachev would literally carry rocks up the mountain when they're like 5 or 6 years old just to prepare choke people out. Like, it's just a different level. And there's, you know, in Game of Thrones, say winter's coming. Dude, Dagestanians are coming.
So there's no.
And so we got to get better at pronouncing their name.
So is that the specialty then? Or what specialty is that? So he's like, what is he like? You know, so he's just like a. Just a dangerous brawler?
No. So their background's going to be heavy in wrestling, grappling. Okay,
but
they're the anti-jiu-jitsu because they literally, like Khabib, Makhachev, the homeboy here, Chimaev, they just want to break you. Like, they don't want to knock you out. They'll take it.
Rocky
They
IV.
literally want to just break you inside that octagon.
I will break you.
It's nuts. So let's hit this. You're going to see this dude is a different caliber. Like, we watched some good fights on this.
Well, this guy he's about to fight, I mean, he doesn't look intimidating, this guy that, you know.
But again, it's first fight in the UFC. Look at him carry him talking to him.
He picked him up like a little baby.
Yeah. Dude, he's picking goats up as a 2-year-old.
Yes.
This white boy with tattoos, you think he's scared of
can you
that?
imagine he picked him up and talked into his ear, I'm about to kill you.
You know how everyone goes, oh, I went mess with a guy in a bar with cauliflower ears. No. New rule. Cauliflower is whatever. Anybody can get that. You don't mess with a guy with that freaking Dagestanian beard.
Yeah.
Like, you see somebody with that beard, you turn the other way. But he just mauls people, dude. Just mauls them to death. And this poor guy, out in the first UFC fight, hey, Mom, tune in.
This is his first fight, this other guy? Oh, man, this is a tough one to be their first fight.
You're just getting mauled to death, dude.
Yeah, he can't even get a... Well, I don't even know what this other guy's specialty is. Like, he's not even.
Here's the thing: he's probably versed in jiu-jitsu. I don't think he's a black belt, but he's probably, you know, I'd say purple. Yeah. Maybe he's doing shrimping, getting out of. Again, these Dagestanians and Chechens, they just don't partake in. They're like, cool, dude.
So like, he didn't allow him to even get into a stance or anything.
Warm up.
Like, this has got to be really frustrating for this guy on the bottom right now. Like, yo, bro, let me get up and.
Like, let me get a slight sweat before you jump on me.
Yeah,
but it's literally what they do, and they eat, breathe, sleep. So kids in America grow up wanting to play in the NFL, NBA. These guys grow up wanting to break people, and it is a problem. It's a problem to the U.S., which, you know, we're going the complete opposite way. Kids can't even play tackle football. Like, moms play tackle football in Dagestan.
Okay, but if you're a person that that's the girls' sports.
Yeah. And they make fun of them.
The girls are
out
there playing tackle football.
Yeah. They're all, okay.
You tackle like a girl.
CT. Ooh.
So, like, if you're, you know, like, if you have, like, whatever your specialty is, like, how does someone prepare for someone that, like, just wants to do this? Like, this doesn't even look like anything. Like, there's no fighting. There's no.
No, it's
there's
just
no,
a beatdown.
Yeah, there's no.
It looks like MTV's Bully Beatdown.
Yeah.
You're like, what this bully do? And they're like, oh, no, he's actually a professional.
And what's the ref thinking right now? The ref, I mean, like, this looks so unorthodox, right? This is not. Is that a thing that's like is that a talk amongst UFC now? They're like, damn, what is the counter to this?
The counter would be someone who can match the pressure and get them on their back foot so they can't come forward. And you'll see I think his last fight, he fought Gilbert Burns. I'm jumping a little ahead here, but just to answer your question. So he goes from fighting, you know, he fought this guy in they call him the Leech, Jingling. So he was ranked, I think, maybe top 15, like 13 or area. So he goes, literally starches everybody, and then the UFC goes, okay, here's the #2 guy in the world.
Dude,
which is unheard of.
Dude, this is like a big brother fighting his little brother. Like, I'm surprised he doesn't just grab his arms and then, you know, go like this. You know what I mean? You know how you're
quit hitting yourself. Quit hitting yourself.
Yeah. That's what that looked like right there. He was like, oh, man.
You think this is impressive? Maybe in the next 2 or 3 of these we got to do Khabib. Because he's literally has this guy by the wrist on the ground, and he's going, just give up. You know this is my destiny. Just give up. I don't want to do this. He looks at Dana and goes, I need title shot. As he's beating his ass, he goes, I need title shot. You know I deserve title. He's just breaking dudes, man. So Gerald Meerschaert is no punk.
Yeah, I'm about to say. I was just
44
like
fights, veteran, tough grappler. Like, this dude, you're like, all right, Khamzat, let's see what you got. I'm not even going to tell you how this goes.
Wow.
I'm just going to let you watch. Look at him.
He's excited.
8-0.
You know what I like about this guy? He wants to challenge. I see it in his face. I see it in his demeanor.
They were born to do it.
Yeah,
man. It's
yeah.
just
This
different
guy,
than the way we grow up.
Look at him.
You
Look
know?
at him. Look at. He's like, oh, he's like a tiger, like ready to pounce.
He's
Oh,
scary,
man.
dude.
I wish there was. It seems like some breakdancing music should be playing right now. Boom, 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 boom.
That'd be sick.
If he went like this,
How sick would that be? Just starts, just a big ass robot.
if he did this one, you know what I mean?
And then throws it at the next guy. He's all. Now, so this, you're like, all right, Chimaev, let's see what happens.
Oh, this
here.
guy looks big.
Yeah, he's big
Look
too.
how big that guy is compared to him.
This at middleweight. This at 85.
Wow. He looks bigger than that. He's bigger than that.
Oh yeah,
That guy's like
Merchart's-
215.
Oh, at least, yeah, he's
Right?
big. So you're like, damn, dude can grapple too. Bigger guy. It's gonna be a tough test for him. Okay, cool, Erik. Okay, I'm gonna knock him out.
Oh.
What? Oh, you thought I could only grapple?
What?
Look at him.
We got to go back.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're worried about just getting taken down? Say less, because I can strike with the best of them. All right, let's take a little break from chat with my boy Erik. Fill him in on Khamzat, Nate Diaz. He has a lot to learn, but my boy is excited. And I'm excited for that big pay-per-view. But let's take a little break because the numbers don't lie. In the last decade, over 4 million people have chosen my friends at Simply Safe Home Security to protect their cribs. You don't earn the trust of that many people without doing something right. And at Simply Safe, your safety is the only thing they care about. I know because I use Simply Safe in my own home. They protect you with cutting-edge security technology powered by 24/7 professional monitoring agents who always have your back. Here's why I love it, man. They take care of you. Again, 24/7 professional monitoring. Simply Safe's agents call you the moment a threat is detected, no matter what it is. They also dispatch police or first responders if it's an emergency. Even if you're not home or can't be reached, they're sending them, man. That's why I love them. Simply Safe blankets your home in protection with advanced sensors for every room, kids' room, windows, doors, HD security cameras for inside, outside your crib, smarter ways to detect motion that only alert you when the threat is real, and even hazard sensors that instantly detect fires, floods, and other threats to your crib. The modern experts use an advanced response technology to visually confirm when a break-in is real so you can get the highest priority police dispatch. That's right, they work fast. Customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes. You got a few minutes to protect your home? I think you do. Go to simplysafe.com/Schaub, SCHAUB. Go today and claim a free indoor security camera plus 20% off. Again, go to simplysafe.com/Schaub. There's no safe place like Simply Safe.
Wow.
Yeah, he has power too.
You think?
So you saw, that was his second fight on Fight Island, and then this is his third fight. So the first fight demolishes guy. Second fight stays 10 days on the island. Then after that, they give him Merchart, and you're like, all right, here's an actual test because he's destroying everybody. And this was the test. And this is where the legend of Khamzat begins. You're like, this has to be a tough test for him. He goes, oh, really? Cool. There you go.
Okay.
There's your test.
I mean, all right, here's my question. This other guy, you think he was preparing for? I think the other guy looked like he was preparing for the guy's going to rush me and do this takedown thing.
Because we didn't know yet.
And
we really didn't know how.
Gotcha.
Same thing. You were like, oh, this guy's, Sweden via Chechnya, like clearly grappling's his thing, and it is. But they didn't know, like the camp he trains with in Sweden, they have Gus Finn, they have monsters out there. And the legend that comes out of that camp, they've said they've never seen him lose a round in sparring.
Do you think that he prepared for that? Like he prepared to be like, do you think that was planned? Or was it just like
on Khamzat's part?
Yeah, or you think that or do you think it was just an opportunistic opportunity to punch? Or do you think that they trained like I want you to train so you can get some hits in? What do you think?
I think his team was like, well, clearly he's going to be looking for the takedown. So if it's open, get it done. And this is what's scary about him is he has the skills to do all that.
Well,
because most guys, it's tough to have those. So he starts his Gerald Merchart, right? And then he gets COVID. So it halts the Chechnyan train. It halts it because he doesn't get like COVID like I had. This dude is messed up. He's saying he can't train. He tried going back to train too soon. His lungs, his cardio's done. There's talk of even maybe retirement.
Wow.
So you're like, damn, dude, this is going to ruin him. And then finally he gets over it. They're like, all right, because, he's on this hot streak. So he's undefeated at this point, 3-0. So like, all right, here's Jingalang Lee, who the nickname is the Leech. And he's, he floats around the top 15. You'll see him. He looks like Chin on steroids. He's a tough character, dude. He's a very tough character.
You know, it's funny you
He's
say
won 4
that.
out of his last 5.
I haven't seen a lot of, Asian descent fighters, and I'm surprised.
Yeah.
When it comes to I'm talking about martial arts.
I know.
Right? What is that about?
Look at the head on this dude. Looks like a Rottweiler. But and again, this is supposed to be a tough test for him. This is also the first time. Jesus Christ! Man, look at him just bragdolling homeboy. He's talking to Dana right there. Look at him talking to Dana. Look at him. Savage, dude. Yeah. Think to be inside that octagon and have the wits while you're in the middle. Dude, we're 20 seconds in to talk shit. And look at your boss and go, what are we doing? Dude, this is easy. What are we doing? Give me a top 5 guy. You're like, well, just beat this guy up for us. He's like, I'm doing it.
Look at the look on his face.
And again, this guy's no punk. Like but before this fight, he's won 4 out of 5. Well, he's a tough customer.
Okay, so the last time the guy fought, he knocked that guy out.
Yep.
Because I noticed when this guy came out, he came out looking to be like as if oh, we're gonna box.
Yep.
And then he was like, nah. Remember, I do this.
Yeah. Remember, this is actually.
So I like the. Look at his back. He does
that cupping. Yeah. Have you done that?
No.
It works. Some guys swear by it. To me, it gets the blood flowing in the areas that are injured.
This has got to be okay. Tell me in the mindset of you're this other guy. Your expertise is obviously you look like the guy was a fighter. It's like you're not even able to. The guy looked just like Chin right there. You're not able to do anything.
He's Chinese, but
this has got to be what's going on. How do you get out of this?
It's just tough, man. You got to be so versed in grappling to get out of it because. I always said this, all these Dagestanians, Chechens, Russians. So when you're wrestling in America, with the wrestling, we have chain wrestling. And so our best wrestlers in freestyle or Greco, they might have, especially when they're going against a guy, say just a normal wrestler, doesn't have the same pedigree like an Olympian. Those Olympians, you're going to be able to stop maybe the initial single leg or double leg, but they have 9 to 10 other tricks in their tool bag to get you down that you haven't seen and you're not prepared for.
Right.
These Dagestanians and Chechens have 50. There's no way to stop it.
And I feel like the strategy here is don't let this guy get on his feet again.
Oh,
right?
His only goal is to break you. I'd rather be knocked out than deal with this.
Yeah.
To me, this is way more embarrassing. Look at his feet flailing around. Dude,
you're like he's been on his feet for 5 seconds this whole fight.
And exactly. And in your town, you're the toughest guy. Nobody's even seen you face down like this. And look at this.
Okay, but here's the thing I'm asking though.
Look at him choke out.
Isn't this frustrating?
Look at him. So you've seen him break a dude. You see him knock a dude out. And then now he's about to choke Chin out.
But okay, come on, dude. You got to give up already.
Yeah, I mean he's not even hand fighting at this point. Which to me, it's like, what's the defense here? There he goes, hand fighting there, but should have done that a little earlier.
Shouldn't he just do this? Get off me! Why doesn't he do this?
You're gonna get choked out. You got a hand fight. Like when you're punching, you're not fighting what's choking.
Elbow him in the ribs.
Look at him. Put him out.
Oh shit! I was about to say. What is the ref? Is the ref waiting for the guy to tap out?
Correct. Or if he goes to sleep, he stops it.
Well, yeah.
Because a lot of guys, they'll fight till they go to sleep.
Jeez, man, this is so like, how do you even prepare for that? Like the guy's like, doesn't even allow you to.
Doesn't give you an inch.
You're flailing around and like that's got to be like the most frustrating. This has to be the most frustrating thing. Now, let me ask you this: so in the fight community, what is their honest feeling about that fight style? Like, because it's like it doesn't seem as if there's like Is there a feeling of like, come on, man, let's actually fight?
No.
Oh, so
Everyone's
that's like,
Yeesh, this kid's a problem.
okay, so there's
Everyone
no,
respects it.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
that's my question.
You know he's been doing it since he was fucking in diapers.
No, but I'm saying
No, we all respect
They
it.
respect that. Okay, that's a respectable fight style.
It's a respect thing, and no one really wants to fight him. And this, and I don't think we're going to show it, but so he's destroyed everyone. That Lang was supposed to be one of his toughest fights. Doesn't get touched, right?
Yeah.
So then
Jesus.
I think Django, then he's ranked in the top 15, and it's kind of unheard of. They go, all right, nobody, whatever, 11 through 3 want to fight you. Here's the number 2 guy in the world, Gilbert Burns.
Okay.
So he fights Gilbert Burns, and Gilbert Burns, Dorino, is his background, he's a world-class jiu-jitsu guy, like 15-time world champ in the gi, out of gi, but his striking has gotten better. He had that fight when we watched with Kamaru. Remember, he rocked Kamaru Usman?
Yeah.
Kamaru kind of got wobbled, and then Kamaru beat the shit out of him. So he's one of the best in the world. So they give Khamzat him, and you're like, Jesus Christ, man, that's a big jump up, but Khamzat's a monster.
But nobody else will fight him.
No one else will fight him. So that's why they did it, and they're trying to fast-track him because he obviously has the chops to get it done. So they give it to him, and in that, it's a long fight. It goes to decision, 5-round or 3-round decision. That's why we're not going to watch it, but you'll see a different side of Khamzat where you're like, oh, he is human if he wants to be. Mm-hmm. So in that fight, he throws caution to the wind and just is in a phone booth and just you see him get hit a few times. His takedowns, because Gilbert Burns can, actually his takedown defense is really good, so he doesn't really get him down. Like, it's a straight up, it's a war. It's a war. And so the first round, he destroys him. And second round, he probably lost. Like, Gilbert lands some big shots. Third round, he beats him. And I think the fame and, like, the hype got to Khamzat because as Gilbert's walking to the octagon, Khamzat's on top of the cage like this, smiling and laughing with his buddies. And you're like, dude, where's the Chechenian kid who was ready to go here? So that's the only kind of chink in the armor you've seen. And his coaches between rounds are like, "What are you doing?"
And is
like,
that
stick to
number
the
11? Is that fight? That was fight number 11.
No, so I think Khamzat.
Because isn't this fight number 12 of his 12th? It's going to be his 12th fight, right?
Total, but this is probably I think his 5th fight in the UFC. This next.
Got you.
This is why we're watching Nate Diaz next, because the next pay-per-view is Khamzat, who's the golden boy, the Chechenian golden boy.
And he's undefeated.
Versus Nate Diaz. And so all the UFC is trying to do here, so just so you're aware, Nate Diaz has 1 fight left on his contract. And UFC's been trying to re-sign him. He's like, nope, I just want to get out of my contract and go fight Jake Paul. And Dana goes, cool, say less. But we're a business, so before you leave, you got to walk through fucking Chechenian fire to get out that door. Here's Khamzat. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Khamzat, I think, is a plus 2,200 favorite, like, which is unheard of in mixed martial arts.
So you don't give Nate Diaz a chance, personally?
I do because, and maybe it's a bit of the, I've been following the UFC so long, and Nate Diaz, like, he's not easy to finish. He's a tough fucking customer.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. The last person we talked about was that Usman fight, right? Yeah. And I was on my online, and my online on Twitch, Eric Griffin Gaming. We were talking about it, and I thought he was gonna lose the fight. You know why? Because there is something about the pressure to be undefeated.
To break Anderson Silva's all-time record.
To break the record. There's a lot of pressure. The hype of being like, people are telling you you're great.
The pound-for-pound number 1 guy in the world.
You got to be.
He alluded to that. He did say he was a lot, and Dana goes, I don't think people realize the pressure that he's under. Yeah. And he's almost more, it's not that he's happy he lost, but he's more relaxed. My only caveat with that is, yes, he lost that fight. I'm a Leon Edwards fan. If they're going to do the rematch, he's not going to win that rematch. Like,
you say Usman's gonna come out and be
I don't get twisted. Usman dominated that fight. He got taken down the first round. Like, oh, that's not normal. And then after that, he mollywopped that dude, mollywopped him, and then took his eye off the prize for 1 second. Shellac, gets knocked out. At the highest level, that's what happens.
I was about to say, that's the game, right? That's the game.
So
reminds me of actually all these individual sports like that, because golf is the same way. You could be like, going all the way, and then you like double bogey on the last hole, and you're
too good.
So this, but what I'm saying is, I do feel like the pressure and believe in your own hype is a thing. And I feel like if this guy is standing on the thing, doing that thing on this fight, he gonna get caught by Nate Diaz.
I agree 100% with you. But my only caveat with that, I said the exact same thing. When he fought Gilbert Burns, I thought he was gonna mollywop Gilbert Burns. I'm like, this is a terrible fight for Gilbert. it was a fight, man. You're like, oh, that's right. That's why Gilbert's ranked number 2 in the world. But Khamzat comes from a camp that is one of the best in the world. I guarantee you they don't let him fight like that.
They have to be in his ear.
I think and
preparation,
sticking to the game plan, being a professional.
Yeah.
Because all right, you beat Gilbert, you barely got by that. These other guys, you're gonna lose.
Do you think that?
So he still won, even though he had his worst outing. He still won. So the hype's still there. The Nate Diaz thing is tough to me because even if Khamzat destroys Nate in the first or second round, you can't give him a title shot because you still got Leon Edwards and Usman to go.
Okay, do you think that because his last fight was the Gilbert fight, right?
Yes.
Okay, so do you think that because of the toughness of that Gilbert fight, that it went as long as it did, do you think that was enough wake-up call for him to be like, well, now I got to go into this Nate Diaz fight with a whole different mentality?
Correct, and I think that's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
And,
So
if he is the truth,
Yeah.
and his team is as good as we think, he knows he can't. That he got very lucky that night. It was Gilbert because if it was Colby Covington, if it's Usman, if it's Leon Edwards, he doesn't win that fight.
I was going to say, like, do you think that if he would have, like, ran through him, you know, grappled him, got some lucky whatever with skill, and he took him out,
landed a shot,
he would have come. He might have come into this Nate Diaz fight with a little bit like, I'm the man.
Yep.
I'm all about to
and he would have lost this one.
he would have lost it.
So I think it was a good learning lesson for him.
I like that. So I'm kind of 50-50 right now.
Yeah.
man.
So, but the Nate Diaz fight is interesting because Nate Diaz, and Dana alluded to this. He's like, he's won one fight of the last like 6 years. So the fight, as far as like Dana got so much backlash when he made this fight, it doesn't make a ton of sense.
Oh.
Like Khamzat's, I think, ranked number 3 in the world. Nate Diaz isn't even ranked, but Nate Diaz is way more famous. So as a business, I get it. As a fan, I don't get it because Dana's going, okay, yeah, you can leave, Nate. Go fight Jake Paul. That makes sense. You make all the money in the world. But you have this massive fan base. We want that fan base to jump on board with Khamzat. So before you leave, before you go, fight this monster.
Also, this is like when Hulk Hogan fought the Ultimate Warrior.
Yes, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Remember that? That was great.
Yeah.
And then Hulk Hogan lost the belt, and it was like,
and even if 10% of the fans go over, it builds Khamzat. That's all they're trying
Okay,
to do.
but I hear from you that I don't think you don't agree with this fight.
No, I think it's fucked up to do it to a guy, Nate Diaz, who's been a team player and and was the Ultimate Fighter winner. His Conor McGregor fights, the 2 fights there, like he's done a lot for the company. The way you repay the guys, to be completely honest, there couldn't be a worse matchup in the world for him. His last fight. This is how you want him going out. Because
are you rooting for him?
I am. Yeah. In a weird way, I am. I like
it's
chaos.
Not weird. I get it.
And I like chaos. Like I think.
Well, this would be chaos.
I think it'd be hilarious if he beat Khamzat and messed up the UFC's plans. I think it's hilarious because then he dips out and goes fights Jake Paul. It's hilarious to me.
Yeah.
But that being said, there could not be a worse matchup for him.
Oh,
it's a
man.
It's a nightmare.
Ooh,
for him. Nightmare.
Wow.
So the guy he's fighting, Nate Diaz, the legend Nate Diaz. So Nate Diaz,
this guy. I've heard of this guy.
I'm sure, yeah. So he got very famous, obviously, off Conor, but before that, he was the Ultimate Fighter winner. And he's always had a huge fan base. But he comes, his older brother Nick Diaz is a MMA royalty too, from Strikeforce. Comes to the UFC. He had that fight. You would probably know the scene where he laid down while he's fighting Anderson Silva. He laid down.
Oh,
he was high
yeah.
as shit.
Oh.
He was high as shit. Yeah, he just lays down like one of the biggest fights of all time. He just lays in the middle and pretends he's just chilling. Like they're just him and his brother just have this savage fan base, man. So he's the little brother. He's damn good. He's fallen some hard times. I think part of the problem is the Diaz brothers they've never adapted to the game. So leg kicks not their thing. Boxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, kicks, adapting, being well-rounded. It's not their thing. But they're damn good at boxing. They're damn good at jiu-jitsu. But the level of the UFC fighter has evolved, and they never evolved. But they have granite chins. They're tough as nails. If you give them a chance, they're going to choke you out or knock you out. And the difference between Nate Diaz and Khamzat is Nate Diaz is a volume puncher. So for every 2 punches Khamzat throws, Nate throws 10. You're going to see on the CompuStrike numbers, if it goes to decision, Nate Diaz fans are going to be pissed. I'm like, well, he landed 300 punches. It's like, I know, but Khamzat, when he throws, it counts. That's the difference. Let's take another little break, chat with my boy Erik. Because listen, man, right now, if you're filling anything out online, your personal information, listen, between my family, the busy life I got enough to worry about. I don't want to worry about someone hacking in and stealing all my information, my identity. It's not good, man. But I know exactly how to protect myself. All right? I know exactly with my friends at Allstate. Ever heard of them? That's right. Allstate are the best in the biz at identity protection. The best identity protection from a brand you can trust. Allstate, baby. That's right. So much of life is logging in to your digital lives. That's why Allstate developed an identity protection product that protects your digital life just like you do your physical life. With Allstate Identity Protection, they'll reimburse you up to $1 million buckaroos for out-of-pocket expenses, lost wages, legal fees. They'll also cover money stolen from your bank accounts, 401ks, HSAs, and tax returns. At Allstate, they have been protecting the things people love for over 90 freaking years. We got you covered, man. What I love about Allstate's protection is I don't have to worry about it. Peace of mind. They cover the whole family, kids, girl. We got it covered, man. It's the new age thing. It's the new age of crime. They're stealing your identity, stealing digitally. That's what they're doing. We're on our phones 24/7. So you need the best protection possible. That's Allstate. So when you think of identity protection, think Allstate Identity Protection. To find out if your employer offers Allstate Identity Protection, head to aip.com/Schaub, SCHAUB. If not, get a 30-day free trial at aip.com/Schaub. That's 30 days free. One last time, that's aip.com/Schaub. Protect yourself. Now let's get back to the program. Guys, let's take a little break because there's one thing you know about me. I worry about your wieners. I care about your wiener. I really do, and that's why my friends at Blue Chew, they really give me that turbocharge in the bedroom. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, but in chewable tablets at a fraction of the cost. Do you like to save money? Like to make sure your wiener works? All right, Blue Chew got you covered, man. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready when it's time to go. You don't have to worry about it. All right, the process is super simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with a licensed medical professional, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. Best part, it's all done online. No visits to the doctor office, no awkward conversations. You don't have to wait in line at the pharmacy, all right? Everyone knows you're picking up these wiener pills. It's weird, man. It's awkward. Not anymore. Delivers straight to your door, discreet little package. Nobody has to know. Blue Chew is made in the U.S. of A, all right? So if you could benefit from something like this, a little extra confident for your wiener game, all right, when it's time to perform, Blue Chew can help you guys out. Chew it and do it, baby. Yeah, all right? And I got a special deal for all you guys watching the show right now. Try Blue Chew free when you use the promo code Schaub at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's Blue Chew, B-L-U-E, chew.com. Promo code Schaub, S-C-H-A-U-B, to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details, important safety information. And I thank Blue Chew for being part of the show. So here's Nate Diaz.
I just hear how you're talking about this. I don't think you give Nate Diaz a shot at all.
It's going to be tough. There's a reason. Dude, it's gonna be very tough. There's a reason Homeboy's minus 2,200. That's fucking heard of in our sport.
I feel like I'm gonna put 100 on Diaz.
That's not a bad idea at all.
You know what I mean,
no,
right?
I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for him, and I'm not, because I love when a guy's his come up, and this is Khamzat's come up.
See, so, Khamzat wouldn't even allow a fight to be like this.
No.
Like, I'm looking at this, and I'm
No. It's a nightmare.
I already see now. It's like,
nightmare.
You don't even allow this.
No.
You know what I mean?
And also, this is, what year is this? 2012? Yeah. Like he's fighting Gray Maynard here. 2013. There you go. Close.
You know what?
The game's evolved since then, bro.
I was just about to say, I see how this looks old school to me. This is old school because, like, I'm like, they don't do this anymore.
No, so this would be the equivalent of me showing you Patrick Mahomes and then be like, check out Bart Starr,
right?
And you'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, he's good,
so they're
but
different
he's
now.
Get fucked up, you know. Like, they're in leather helmets. Like, the UFC is so new. Like, the advancement is insane. Like, you look at women's sports in fighting, like how far they've come. It's nuts in 2 years.
Is it illegal to grab the fence?
Yes.
Okay.
You'll get away with it once. You do it again, they're going to take a point.
Right. So
but
he couldn't have used yet.
You know. So filthy.
That looked very like a skilled move.
Yeah, and Nate's very, like, his background is jiu-jitsu and a gi, very traditional, and then phenomenal boxing. So Andre Ward.
Imagine meeting one of these guys in a bar and, like,
nightmare.
You know what I mean? Like,
nightmare. I'd still rather meet both of them than Khamzat in a bar.
Let me ask you this about Nate Diaz. I mean, his arms are very lanky.
Yeah, he has reach. Again, he's a volume guy.
But he doesn't have power.
Not really.
Yeah,
no.
I could see that.
Not really.
I could see that.
Yeah, because he landed like a bunch of shots on Conor, and then eventually Conor shot and got choked out. But anyone else, like Khamzat lands those punches, there's no way, man. You're waking up in the green room. It's just a different animal, dude. So again, and to be fair,
this guy's a grappler. This other guy.
Yeah, Gray Maynard, his background's wrestling.
Yeah.
But this is a finish of Nate Diaz. Now, because this show we want to make exciting, show you the highlights.
Yeah.
We have to go back to 2013 to give you a highlight from Nate Diaz. Like. It's been a tough go, man. It's been a tough go, yeah.
Oh man, yeah, you really are down on Nate Diaz, man.
For the matchup, 100%. Like it's a nightmare.
Well, I'm saying even in general, I think that you feel like the Diaz that like he could have done a lot more for himself if he would have adopted some other things. I feel like you're kind of down on his skill set.
Well, his jiu-jitsu and boxing, I'm not. Again, him and his brother train with Andre Ward, who. Top 5 of all time, and like they spar with him, and like boxing wise, like don't get it twisted, man. Like when Nate fights Jake Paul, that's a long night in the office for Jake Paul. Like Jake Paul should be an underdog in that fight. Like Nate Diaz can fucking box, and his range, volume, cardio. Like as far as boxing goes, as far as MMA goes, it's tough for me to get excited about the current Nate Diaz. He fights once every 2 years, once a year. So it's tough to get excited about that because you got to be active to be a real player in the game.
Oh, this guy's not in it anymore.
And he was a stud. Maynard was a monster, man.
You could tell at this point right now that this other dude's like, he's not even in it anymore.
No.
Ooh, man, that's tough. That's a tough dude right there. Because in this whole moment right here, when all this is happening, he is trying with all his
it's tough they come.
All his will he's keeping him up. His will kept him up right there.
That's how tough he is. And
that's tough, dude.
Rashad Evans. So that was his brother in his corner. His brother's always in his corner. Nick Diaz, who's a legend, man, super legend. Like they're legends. It's just in 2022.
I get it. The game's evolved.
Yeah, and
he's
fighting the guy who evolved.
I get it.
He's fighting the number one guy evolved. Now this is where the Nate Diaz kind of trajectory blows through the fucking roof because he's fighting Conor McGregor.
Now let me ask you this now. Did it blow up because of Conor McGregor's fame, or was it, and he beat him, or was it because he was just better? You know what I mean?
That's a good question. So we're actually watching the second fight, which Conor wins, correct? So, we're watching the first fight. Yeah, that's fine. So when he fights Conor, remember Conor's the biggest thing to ever happen in the sport. They were kind of the perfect, it's the Spider-Man Venom thing to correlate to comic books. So he kind of had an adversary, and Nate Diaz is the opposite of Conor. Like Conor beats most guys before he even walks in the octagon.
Right.
Nate doesn't give a fuck. That's one of the things you love about Nate. Like he doesn't give a fuck about fame, money. He just loves to fight. So with the Conor, it's like the Conor haters all jumped on the Nate train. Conor's fan base was going for Conor. So you had this perfect rivalry happening. And this is the first fight.
Who's more skilled?
Conor. So this fight's also at 170. Conor's not 170, especially back then. Now maybe, but back then, Conor's to me, the best fighter that's ever entered the octagon was Conor at 155 when he fought Eddie Alvarez. That's the best fighter I've ever seen in my life.
Gotcha.
Hands down. So at 170, and it was short notice too. So it was like he's the bigger guy. So you'll see Conor's landing shots and dropping them, but he's just not big enough to put him away. And that's Nate Diaz's specialty. Like, go ahead and beat on me, man. I'll wait around, and we'll see what happens.
Because this is his natural weight class, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, he originally came into the UFC when he was younger at 155, won the Ultimate Fighter at 155, and gradually, as he got older, started fighting at welterweight. But Nate Diaz is not a small dude.
You know what's funny about you, man? The things you don't say are just as loud as the things that you do say.
Meaning?
Oh,
like my expressions?
No, I'm saying like when you're talking about someone, I also hear other things you're saying about them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like, because like it's like you think Conor's a better fighter and he put himself in this situation And a lot of it has to do with the business of the UFC. I mean, so it's like, so I feel from like talking to you at all these things, I feel like the UFC, that they don't have enough fighters, okay, in the different weight classes.
Yep.
And then we're not necessarily getting the best matchups that we could possibly get.
Correct. You're 100% correct. But also, and then fans are like, oh, the reason why Schaub might be a little salty towards Nate is because we had an issue when I worked for Showtime. My job was to sell the fans and the boxing fans on why Conor McGregor might have a chance to beat Floyd Mayweather. I got paid to convince people. Yeah. Tough gig. Tough gig, dude. The odds were not on my side, but that was my paid gig to do that. So I'm coming up with every kind of explanation why things do it. So I went on the tour, went to the fight. I was the Conor McGregor expert. Well, Nate Diaz, because they have their issues, viewed me as Team Conor. So when we go to and I'm just filling in why people think I'm salty. So after that fight, I'm walking through. It's all boxing fans, and they're talking shit to me, like, whatever. I see Nate. Now, we're part of a alumni, man. Like, I was on Ultimate Fighter. I was a top 10 UFC heavyweight. There's no other UFC representatives there, so I see a familiar face. It'd be like if you go to a party and it's all actors and you see the comic from the store or somebody you've been around, you'd be like, oh, thank God, there's one of me. I have actually somebody to talk to. So I see Nate, I go, oh, thank God, there's a guy part of my crew. So I go, what's up, Brian? And he goes, nah, man, I fucking told you. I'm like, I look around, I'm like, what are you talking about? Told me. And he's like, you don't know box. I'm like, whoa, dude, this was a gig, bro. Right, you don't know fucking box. And then I was like, dude, calm down. What are you talking about? And then I get defensive because there's a fighter. Of course. So I go, hold up. I said he was going to land punches. He landed punches, bro. Yeah. And that just set him off. And then he wanted to square up. Wow. And I'm like, okay. And then my Showtime boss was like, you touch him, you're going to lose all the jobs, dude. We cannot have that. And I was like, yeah, of course we can't. So then, the internet gets a hold of it and they, manufacture it. Like I was talking shit to him. There's no shit talking. With that being said, like to me, it's like I get it. There's animosity because he thinks I'm Conor's team. I like Nate Diaz. I don't give a fuck about any of that. That was
so would that bring you back into
5
the ring?
Years ago?
You and Nate Diaz?
Absolutely not. I don't want to fight that savage. Absolutely not, dude.
Yeah, with your cushy ass life. Now.
Yeah, hell no, hell no.
Brendan's like, he's like, please, I got a Ferrari now. I'm not trying to.
Dude, I can barely train for the Tough Mudder, let alone a fight, bro.
You pulled your hammy against Chappelle.
Yeah, racing against my other fucking comic friend. Get ready for a cage fight.
All right. Okay. So I understand a little backstory.
That makes sense.
It does make sense, but I do feel like it just. As somebody coming in late to this, I am seeing.
Now he has a rap. So people think the Bees, like Beyonce's, like they think her fan base is insane. Bro.
The Beehive?
Bro. That Beehive, dude, talk about the Nick Hive. Dude, the amount of hate I got. I'm like, whoa, I like him. Chill.
Yeah, I got you.
I defend him. We're all good. Me and him are good.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah, so again, this is Conor, doing his damn thing.
I forget, I wasn't really into it, so it's like funny to see how Conor was doing the UFC stuff.
Yeah, isn't that nuts? But you're right.
You know what I mean? Because he just did like a ballet spin move, and I'm like, okay, I forgot this guy's like a fighter.
Oh, dude, in his prime, oof.
Like if Mayweather was in the ring with him, he would destroy him.
God.
Yeah.
And they're talking about running back. So Conor's, you're seeing him slipping punches and doing the damn thing, but he's fighting a bigger guy. You can tell how much bigger. Look how much bigger Nate is.
Yeah, he is.
Now this is what's impressive. So this is the first fight, and Conor loses, gets choked out. Conor beats him in the second fight, dude. Beats him. That's what a badass Conor McGregor is.
I like how he's talking shit too.
Yep.
He's like, ooh.
Yep.
Well, Conor like squares up.
And Nate Diaz is a really good boxer. Conor's slipping, landing.
Wow, look at his face. He fucked him up.
Yeah, with that left hand.
Ooh, that would have been the one right there if he would have connected that.
Yep. But again, to Nate's credit, like he's just he's impossible to put away. Yeah. So with the Khamzat fight, you got to wonder if and there's Jim Norton ringside. If Khamzat, if he's landing big shots, which I promise you aren't going to put Nate Diaz out at first. He's going to eat a couple big fucking Chechen shots. In Khamzat, he's going to be like, oh, fuck. Because if you have that oh, fuck moment against Nate, he'll finish you, man. He'll get your neck.
Okay, let me ask you this then. So they're fighting in Nate Diaz's weight class.
Yes, 170.
If Nate had to come down to 155, Conor wrecks him.
Both times. I think so.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Because you look at this fight, and you ask who's more like technical and skill wise. Like, look at Conor slipping, driving, like he can't touch him, and like Conor's countering, he's throwing kicks, he's mixing it up, he's just landing at will, but he just doesn't have the same KO power that he has at 55. And then Conor gets tired too.
Yeah, he's tired now.
He gets tired, and then again, Nate doesn't get tired.
Yeah, I was just about to say, this other guy doesn't look. He's just gonna. If the strategy is just wear him down, just working.
Yep. And he just he's like the fucking Stockton Terminator. He just keeps coming.
Some shots in, though, dude.
But notice how it's not wobbling or nothing. Yeah,
I know, but but I'm saying in the ease in which Conor does slip that uppercut in. Oof.
But Conor's landing like
he's fucking him. Look at his face, man. He's tearing him up.
But you see how
Nate is like, but I'm not down.
Yeah,
fool.
and Nate's when Nate lands because he's a bigger guy, it fucking wobbles Conor, man.
It's just my face is just.
And then eventually he lands one, and it puts him, on 6th Street. Now, back in the day, people used to say Queer Street. Notice how I changed it to 6th Street. That's called keeping up with the times.
You're just evolving.
Yeah, man.
You're evolving.
Yeah, if you watch the newest King of the Sting, I go hard in the pain on Wonder Woman. So I might lose some fans there.
Well, you get to be on the Patreon, though.
Yeah, you gotta be on that. What do we call them? The Cubs on the Patreon.
The Cub.
You
gotta be a Cub.
The Cub. You gotta be Cubby, man. Yeah, you look at Nate Diaz's corner. So he has Chrome Grace. He has Jake Shields. He's just the who's who in his corner, man. Yeah, and the thing is about Nate is he's a good dude, man. You know what I'm saying? He just wants to fight. His brother runs fucking triathlons and
he's
shit.
Just a fighter.
They're just legends, man.
He had a moment there. He was like, "That's all you got?"
Yeah. And you think our boy Rogan smokes weed, bro? Nate Diaz and his brother. You see now this is alarming. Conor shoots for a takedown, which I've never seen before. So he rolls out of this guillotine, and when it comes to grappling, like Conor's probably a purplish belt, but you're talking about a straight Cesar Gracie black belt. Like him shooting was the beginning to the end for him. Like
look, if you're gonna
this
take
is over.
Oh yeah.
But he was tired, getting hit, so he taps.
Yeah.
And then he gets on the mic and goes, "I'm not surprised, motherfuckers." And this was like, one of the biggest moments in UFC history. He says, "I'm not surprised," and then my special is called "You'd Be Surprised." You see how I use that? Okay.
Have you since squashed your beef with this guy?
Yeah, I love Nate. Yeah, I mean we haven't ran into each other. Usually he's in Venice a lot. When I lived down there, I see him a lot more. But part of the problem is when I first started doing all this combat.
So there's
sports,
still a beef.
No, I don't think. Listen, maybe on his end, I don't know how he operates. Like maybe he's like a baby elephant. He just never forgets things. I don't give up. I have no animosity towards him. I got bigger fish to fry.
Oof.
And he does too. So I assume he's not even thinking about it.
Ooh, these guys got some shots in.
Yeah, man.
Oh, that was the one right there. I think that's the moment he was like, okay.
Yeah, and times have changed. Like Conor's, rich and happy now, and broke his leg. He's on a yacht, posting pictures of him getting sucked off by his wife. So it's like things have changed.
Yeah.
Weird flex, right? To post a video of you getting sucked off by your wife. Like, it's your wife. Now it's a flex if it's like Rihanna. That's like, holy shit. Now I will say this. I watch everyone's like, you believe this? I'm like, God, that guy's living. He's on a yacht. Like he's in Mykonos. I'm like, holy shit, that guy. That guy's won. Yeah.
Some people are looking at that. They're like, what are you doing with your wife? You know what I mean? What do you do? It's like,
people are more upset it was his wife. What the fuck, Conor?
You're on a yacht with
your wife? This is ridiculous.
All right, so then, Nate
wins that fight.
What's Nate's last fight that he fought?
He fought Leon Edwards, and Leon beat his ass the last 30 seconds because Nate's so fucking tough. Leon Edwards doing his thing. You saw how good Leon is, and then Nate lands one big shot. Boom, wobbles Leon. But there's 30 seconds left. Clock stops. Leon dominated the entire fight. So for the last 30 seconds, so then the narrative there, because Nate's a more famous fighter, people go, oh, if there's 30 seconds left, there's a street fight, Leon would have lost that. So it actually was a black eye, no pun intended. It was a black eye in Leon Edwards. Like, oh, man, you would have got finished, man. And Leon's like, bro, I won for 4 rounds, 4 minutes and 30 seconds. We were like, so? He's like, all right, whatever, man.
Well, they're zealots, some of the fans. I get it. I understand that. You like your guy, you like your guy. So then this is
Khamzat, Nate Diaz next main event.
That's Saturday, huh?
Yeah, brother.
Saturday. This is the one. Next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
It's a big boy, man. But I think you're going to watch, and I bet, just because the human thing to do is you don't root for the guy who's the minus 2,200 favorite. Like, there'd be something magical in Nate Diaz winning, and that's why I want to see him win. And it also, like, he beats the man. Like, they're setting him up, dude. I got to be honest. They're going to be a bigger setup in the history of the UFC. Like, they don't want him to go on to accomplish great things. So, Khamzat, if he were to lose his fight, is going to be fine. So, and I'm a Khamzat fan. I'm so on his Chechen nuts. Yeah. But I'm going for Nate Diaz, man. I hope he wins. I hope he wins and goes on and makes $50 million fighting Jake Paul, which I think – it's a good chance to win that.
Well, then that's what's on the line for Nate Diaz.
Yeah.
Nate Diaz beats this guy, and then he just sails off into the sunset, just walks out of the ring like, see ya.
Yep, and then he gets his final big payday. Never has to do anything ever again. Run marathon, smoke weed, do whatever you want.
You think that would be a big payday, him versus Jake Paul?
Oh, the biggest payday. Now, I think regardless whether he loses his fight, whether he gets knocked out, finished, submitted, doesn't matter. I think that Jake Paul fight's big no matter what. There's a few guys in the UFC, Nate Diaz, BJ Penn for the longest time. There's certain guys who can lose, Masvidal, and we don't give a fuck. They could lose 6 fights, and they can be a main event, fight for a title, and the fans aren't upset. Nate's one of those guys.
It seems like this guy. Oh, Nate's one of those guys. Well, it seems like because he doesn't cheat the fans.
No, but he's also not fake. Like, there's no gimmicks.
What I'm saying.
That's what people like. Like, he throws a middle finger to the fan. He went to the UFC PI and just pissed on the building.
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I'm just taking it all in. I think
it's a lot. It's a lot for you.
I think because he had that really good fight, his last fight, I think he's going to be more focused and ready.
Me too.
But at the same time, I feel like Nate is really motivated to leave the UFC on a high. I think he probably feels insulted by
big time
by this. I think he feels like set up. I think it feels like, oh, you want to let me, you gonna take me out like that. But I also feel like his pride is at stake right now.
Yep,
this is gonna be a great fight.
How fascinating is it now?
Yeah,
aren't you into it?
Yeah.
Tune in. We already won one over. That's why we do it. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. You're the best, brother.
Boom.
Real quick, Khamzat or Nate, who wins?
Ooh, you know what? It's tough. I think it's going to be tough for Nate to win, but I feel like
you think he can get it done.
I think it's a long shot, but I think with his experience and skill, I think he can get it done.
I think it's going to be even if he were to lose, I think it's going to be a better fight than people think.
Yeah, I think so too.
He has a chance to win.
At the same time though, I also feel like this guy's just a savage.
Oh, dude,
and I feel like he's going to go for the grappling right away.
Big time.
I feel like Khamzat's strategy is going to be to get Nate Diaz on the ground and never let him get off the ground.
Agree. And he's not worried about his traditional Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
He's not worried about all that. So,
all right, guys, hope you enjoyed it. Till next time.